to K&S. I am K, Kristy.
And I am S, Shasta. I don't know. Shawn.
Shawn.
Shawn's my name.
I am Christina. Yes. Welcome back, everyone. We're just pretty crazy this weekend.
Just banging out episodes left and right.
Look, you guys don't care.
You won't know.
You won't know, but you know what? We're still going to tell you. It is Memorial Day weekend, and we said we were going to do it. This is our third episode back to back this weekend. Now you're not going to
have a lot of editing to do.
Yeah. You have a lot of work to do, but now nobody's really going to know this because we're going to space these out.
Well, everybody's going to know because you're telling them right now.
That's true. But I meant, in theory, when they hear it, this has never been done before.
No, it's radio magic.
Yeah, it's never been done before.
Podcasting.
A feat in it of itself. No? Yeah.
No, I'm saying we've never done it.
Oh, we've never done it before.
We've never managed.
We've done 3 episodes. It is Sunday evening. We did Friday, Saturday, Sunday, people. So it's just how we're going to delve these out.
Who knows what tomorrow may bring.
Yeah, we have tomorrow off, too.
I think we should do 3 episodes tomorrow. Back to back.
We do. So we get 6?
Yeah.
We got 6 in the can, people! Yeah. No, so there's more Red Bull flowing in this house tonight just because hopefully we don't sound tired. We don't get to stay up late during the week because of school nights, so we figured, hey, let's just bang some out. So, tonight was my pick, 2020.
Most recent film we've done to date, I believe.
I think so,
I don't think we've done any 2020 movies.
The Broken Hearts Gallery, which, interestingly enough, I honestly, this is when I would love feedback from, the listeners to say, has anybody seen this? Or has anybody heard of it, for that matter? First of all, you can find it on...
You can rent it from iTunes, which is where I rented it from. I think it might be on Amazon as well.
Yeah, but for like $3.99.
Yeah, $3.99.
You all got $3.99, so come on, no excuses. But also...
Apparently, Kristy's calling out all the cheap bastards.
Yeah, I am.
Listening to this episode that won't drop $4 on some cinema. Also, I did see it on Amazon. For the DVD's like $9. Oh yeah, you can buy it on DVD.
And the
or
Blu-ray was like $14. And honestly, I was gonna buy it, and I still, I still might. But for the sake of this experiment, and us kind of doing boom, 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 the trifecta of episodes.
Not even Amazon Prime could have got it to it quick enough.
I mean, things have gotten to me within hours, but I didn't want to wait 24 hours, but I still might get this one for my collection because and by the way, I'm not going to do the DVD. I would just go full on and just spend the $14 and do the Blu-ray.
Always. Plus you get a digital copy.
Oh, plus a digital copy. So, although when I went to look also last night, Blu-ray on Amazon said 5 left in stock.
No, that just means they're running low on their current supply.
I know, I'm just saying. So, I should have jumped on it because, I got, if the listeners got $3.99, I got $14.
The great thing is that this isn't going to go up for at least a few weeks.
Oh, that's true.
So you don't have to worry about all of our fans rushing out to buy it and taking those last 5 copies from you. You got some time.
All right, this is true. Anyway. We'll get right to it of why I picked it.
Yes. Why did you pick this, Kristy?
I just, without getting too much into it, I don't even remember when this was. It was several months ago. I just wanted a little staycation, a few nights away because I had, some big things coming up. And so you stayed home with all the animals. I did a little staycation at the casino resort by myself for 2 or 3 days, I think.
Like that.
Did some swimming, pulled a couple slots. Mostly just chilled out in my hotel room and had room service, etc. No other reason except, ladies, if you're listening, sometimes you just got to get away, and just take some me time. Well, not saying men can't do that either. I shouldn't say that. But, it's, I think, more of a chick thing. I don't know. Anyway, it was a beautiful thing. I caught up on some sleep. We had a lot going on during that time, and I just needed a break kind of thing. It was very nice. Anyway, I didn't do a lot of shit except taking a dip at the pool at the resort and watching some kind of, I want to say bad cable, but there weren't many things presented to me on the TV, so
didn't have a lot of options.
Not a lot of options. But anyway, this came up. I don't even remember what channel it was on, but it was just
The Broken Hearts
Gallery. And I watched it. I really enjoyed it. And then I believe the next night, because they repeat that shit on cable, especially at hotels. And I watched it the next night. And so this was my third viewing, which was interesting. I had to watch it with commercials the first couple times. So this was kind of nice in my own living room. By the way, on a TV like 5 times bigger than the hotel TV. Also, no commercials. And then getting to watch it with you, which you were a first-time viewer. So I will say I enjoyed it that much more for those reasons I just gave you. Aww. So, but that was my reasoning why I picked it. Also, this is completely out of my wheelhouse, which I said at the end of our last podcast, Cherry 2000, why I picked it. 2020, that's a new one for me. Not something I would normally pick. Not my 80s or 90s that I would pick. So, there you have it. I enjoyed it just as much tonight. And, we'll get into why here shortly. But that's why I picked it.
So, I think that you should... This being possibly the least known movie that we've done to date.
I would agree. Voyage of the Rock Aliens. Not everybody knows about that one.
Okay, yeah.
So, but Little Darlings, for that matter.
To be fair, those movies
around.
Had over 30 years to find an audience.
True.
The Broken Hearts Gallery came out in 2020, which, as we discussed at the end of the last episode, its premiere date was September 11th of 2020.
Yes.
When
ironically, 9/11.
When and it's a very New York centric film.
Yes, good point.
The movie theaters were largely closed during September of 2020,
Shuttered, if you will.
Shuttered. Many of them never to reopen.
No,
unfortunately. So this one, I feel, probably got lost on a lot of people. I do remember seeing the trailer for this movie.
Yes.
And I wonder if I saw it in theaters and then we just never, and then maybe the movie just never came out.
Yeah, now that you say that, maybe we saw it together, the trailer when we were at something else.
Yeah.
In theaters. Because, September 11th, 2020.
Yeah.
It was supposed to come out. So this wasn't like a Netflix specific.
No,
it wasn't the one that like Always Be My Maybe was Netflix specific.
Yeah, it was made by Netflix.
This was literally like this was going to be a theatrical release. 9/11/2020, and as we know,
9/11/2020 came and went, and most theaters weren't open.
Well, because we discussed it tonight after the movie. COVID-19 came out late, like December 2019, but it was still getting legs, I guess you could say.
And then the world fell apart in March of 2020.
Probably March and April of 2020. You and I both got COVID in November of 2020, so it was still very much a thing. God, I hate to call it a thing. That makes me sound like I'm downplaying it, but it was a very much huge.
Oh yeah.
So let's go to September 2020. Yeah, this wasn't happening, and here's why.
Theaters weren't open.
Not just because of that. Once we get into it, and we even discussed after it tonight, this was not going to be... Well, first of all, it was not going to be like a Top Gun or anything, okay?
Oh, God,
But this was going to be one of those, like, Booksmart.
Yeah.
Like a very, very... Don't get me started on that, because I love Booksmart, but Booksmart, or I, Tonya, for that matter, very limited...
Patty cakes.
Yes, very limited theatrical release in very, very, very few theaters as it is. Now, throw COVID into the mix, dude, it didn't have a chance.
No.
And that makes me kind of sad because I might love this movie a little bit more than you do. We'll find out here shortly, but it just didn't really have a chance, and that makes me sad.
So since probably everybody listening to this, at least now, maybe not like 50 years in the future, everybody who's listening to it then, probably doesn't know what Broken Hearts Gallery is.
Right.
So tell them what Broken Hearts Gallery is.
Well, also I want to say, too, I loved what you said about 9/11. I don't know why I wasn't doing the math. We all know what 9/11 is, September 11th. Yes. But this is set in New York. So, God, now love you.
The intent
was no, it was gonna. I'm sorry. Yeah. The people that released this movie.
Yeah.
They had a reason for 9/11, New York, etc. So, and now that was the intent. It's beautiful scenes of New York, which I love. Them sitting on the rooftops at times. Yeah. On a little picnic bench. Anyway,
great skyline shots.
Yeah, Broken Hearts Gallery. Basically, super quick premise is.
We don't normally do a synopsis, but I think this movie warrants it.
Yeah, I think so, and you might have to jump in and fill in the holes, I guess.
Sure.
But it's basically a chick that's with her boyfriend, and she thinks her life is great. As the movie starts, she's collecting all the things that old boyfriends gave her. Girls, I don't know if you did it, but I mean, I kept a lot of shit. I mean, not a lot of stuff. I'm not a hoarder. Well, I am a little bit, but I mean, I kept some things that ex-boyfriends gave me that were pertinent, or that were sentimental. So it opens with that, and, they're kind of, the two girls, her best friends, are kind of making fun of her because she is keeping all these things.
And she's had more boyfriends than Taylor Swift, apparently, with all the things that she's keeping.
Is, exactly. And then that was 8 years prior, and then they fast forward to 8 years later, and she's got her new boyfriend, Max, and, the joke is her whole bedroom is basically full. But it's not just full of stuff, as you reminded me, from ex-boyfriends. It's like of things she did.
She basically takes a memento from everything.
She's having lunch with them, her best friends, and she takes the salt shaker and puts it in her purse, and she's like, "This was fun." Like, it's a little sentimental.
Yeah.
Okay, that was kind of goofy, but
it
was supposed to be funny. Anyway, the whole premise is Broken Hearts Gallery. Most of it is from exes.
Yeah.
So, again, I kept some things from exes. Maybe I eventually threw them out, but I probably kept them in a shoebox as well, that they mattered to me. But I don't know that I still have them, or they're somewhere in a box that I don't know where they are, but I don't know, maybe I think at some point all girls did that, and maybe guys did it too. I don't know.
We can talk more on that later.
Oh, okay.
Let's get through the synopsis.
Okay, so anyway, that's it, and so then that's it. Then she's with her current boyfriend, Max. Max breaks up with her, and she's devastated. She meets Nick, who will find out he looks like broke-ass Chad Lowe, which I can't unsee it. I said
Nick
that.
is the Nick actor from Stranger Things.
He's also Billy from Stranger Things. I have his name here. I just can't pronounce it. It's Dacre. Dacre? Montgomery? I just don't know if I'm saying it right, but he played Billy in Stranger Things. And if you guys watched Stranger Things, he's the one he had the really long hair and the cool car. But he was also an asshole.
And he was the lifeguard at the community pool.
Yeah, and he's but again, every time I watch Stranger Things with him in it, I said he looks like a broke ass Chad Lowe, and by that is not a diss on him because he is beautiful. I mean, he has got the Rob Lowe features, but he's not Rob Lowe. He's Chad Lowe. And then when I saw this for the first time, I thought same thing. And then I did the math that he was, the same dude from Stranger Things. Anyway, they get together. He's trying to open up a little New York hotel in a small little neighborhood, and he's trying to give that legs and make that work. And then they just kind of come together, and a friendship ensues, and then, we kind of go from there. So, again, I don't want to say too much, because watch the goddamn movie. I mean, it's a cute movie. Definitely romantic comedy.
Absolutely, it's a romantic comedy.
I did not know, Shawn, that you were going to be interested at all in this. That's why I vacillated back and forth. Do I even pick this one? But I picked it because I enjoyed it so much, and I thought, I sat through Constantine, so, I'm going to, you can sit through this.
I also already sat through Officer and a Gentleman by the time that I made you watch Constantine.
I know that, but that was a long time ago.
We don't need to just keep, stabbing each other.
But Officer and a Gentleman, which was our first heated argument on our podcast, if you think about it, which was wonderful.
Really, it's been our only heated argument.
Exactly,
on our
but
podcast.
It was also a long time ago, so I thought, I seriously, I kid. I wasn't trying to, make you sit through a rom-com. I really enjoyed this, and this was my third viewing, and I really liked it. And, I don't know if we're going to get more, like, ladies on this one going, they liked it more than, say, the men. But, I mean, come on, sometimes you guys have feelings, too.
Oh, I like a good romantic comedy. I mean, and there's romantic comedies that I like that you don't like as much as I like them. I mean, it wasn't an episode of our show, but I recently made you watch Down with Love.
Yes.
Which is is absolutely a romantic comedy, and it's one that I'm a fan of, and you enjoyed it, but you didn't like it as much as I did.
Sure.
And that's fair.
This also had a lot of comedic moments as well. Like, you were laughing out loud
a couple of times. There's some moments of writing in this. First of all, it's a romantic comedy tradition. Like, if you're going to be cast in a romantic comedy, the trick is you don't want to be the male or female lead.
Okay.
You want to be the best friend of the male or female lead. Because it's always the best friend, and it doesn't matter if it's the male's best friend or the female's best friend.
Right.
It is always the best friend that has the best lines.
Oh, absolutely. And even her mom in this who was only in this for like maybe 5 minutes. She was
great.
She was great.
In this movie is a very well written movie. I'm going to give it that, but it does not stray from tradition that I feel like the girlfriends in this movie have the best lines. They're fun characters, super fun characters.
Well, okay. First of all, the lead, I can't say her name, and I'll butcher it. So, feel free to look it up.
Geraldine Viswanathan?
Is it? Yeah, okay. Geraldine, I think I got it. I just didn't want to butcher her last name.
Viswanathan.
Yeah, who played Lucy.
Yeah.
Because I adore her. Not seen her in anything before, and I really liked her.
She was in Blockers.
Okay.
With Amy Schumer and John Cena.
Oh, okay. Okay. And the guy, I can't say his name, from Stranger Things.
Yes.
Dacre. Dacre? I don't know how to say his name. Can I just call him Broke-Ass Chad Lowe? Because that's what he is.
You can call him Mr. Montgomery, because that's his name.
Okay. Well, I know what his last name is, so I'll call him Mr. Montgomery. So anyway, he plays Nick. So it's Lucy and Nick.
They're the meet cute.
They're the meet cute, and let's talk. They're funny.
And how did they meet? Because that was pretty funny.
That was funny. That's the night Max, her boyfriend, broke up with her, and she literally got really drunk at the opening where she was working.
Right.
And had to do a speech and said, okay, I have anxiety, so I'm just going to have like one drink. And then she had like 6 tequilas.
Talks way too much and gets fired from her job.
Yes, and then thinks Nick, who is just stopped at the corner, is her Uber driver, Adolfo, and is not. So she gets in and starts talking, but it turns out they both had a bad night. Anyway, that's how they meet cute. I love that. Meet cute. Also, this could happen at any time in New York. Don't get in the wrong car in New York because you could be murdered. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Which was the joke.
It's a running theme. Like, is this when you're going to kill me?
Is this when you're going to kill me? Exactly. The friends, Max, as we turned out, who's a douche, her boyfriend, she breaks up with. He was the dude in Pitch Perfect, right?
He did right by her in the end.
Oh, no.
But
who?
Max.
Really? You want to say that?
I know. He helped her out.
Yeah, he helped her out, and then when he helped her out, he never did anything nice for her, was never happy, and then after he helped her out with Eva,
no.
He kissed her and said, okay, I'm happy for you, and you're welcome.
Oh, no.
He's a dick.
He's a dick, but she wouldn't be where she was without him, which is a running theme of this movie.
Okay. You know what else is a running theme? She dates assholes, which is why it was relatable to me, and I told you that.
Wow.
Oh, no, not you, because, I mean, I married you.
Okay.
I'm not going to marry an asshole. I'm saying that's why she was relatable to me. She had terrible relationships.
Yes,
that's
she
all
did.
I'm saying.
She did.
So,
but that's also what this whole movie is about, is not only
broken
her
hearts.
terrible relationships, but everybody else that she encounters.
Okay, so let me go back, and you said he did right by her. Okay, because he helped with Bernadette Peters, and I get that. But he also, like, after the doctor dumped him, basically, then that's when he crawls back to her, and then after she gets a New York magazine, he's a dick.
Yeah, but if she didn't go back to him for that short period of time.
Yeah, and I'm going to disagree with that, because I hear what you're saying, absolutely 100%. She even said to Nick, when he said, I'm so happy for you, with your, what's going on with you, she's like, oh my God, I've never had anybody happy for me, and who's happy with my success.
I'm not saying that he's a good dude.
No, I'm actually trying to make a point. I think she would have gotten success with Eva. Sorry, folks, Eva is Bernadette Peters, the incomparable Bernadette Peters.
Phenomenal.
And, by the way, not Eva, Eva. And it's pronounced Eva.
Sorry.
I think Eva, who is owns the Wolf Studios gallery.
She is the boss that fired
because she was
at the beginning of the movie.
I still think she saw her potential, and I don't think she needed Dick Max to, like, that's just my thought after seeing this for 3 times. But, but whatever. If you want to say the guy saved the day, go for it. But I disagree wholeheartedly.
I didn't say he saved the day. I just said that if he didn't do what he did, the rest of the movie wouldn't play out in the fashion that it did.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it was done out of altruistic means. I'm saying she took advantage of that situation as she should. Okay, and then he got her the interviews that you're talking about. Right. I get it, but at the same time when he said, I'm okay. See, this all turned out, and you're welcome. And then he kisses her, and it just like it. I know I'm gonna pull the woman card now, but it just like she literally, if you see in that scene, her face. Oh, she deflates.
She deflates because she's just basically like, oh, like I couldn't have gotten this on my own merit and my own talent. It's because of you, man.
Oh, see, that's interesting. I read that deflation different because I read it as she was starting to have those feelings for him again, and then she realized, oh, you're still an asshole. This is still about you.
No, she's deflated because he just basically, Bernadette Peters said, maybe he got her the interview. I still think she would have stood on her own morals and her own talent. I don't even know that he got her in the door. Remember, Bernadette Peters did fire her in the beginning because she was drunk and she fell off the stage. I get it, right?
Yeah.
She knew she had talent. She absolutely knew she had talent. And after she got fired, she went and did this on her own and got into New York Magazine on her own. So I think Max was simply... I don't even think he had anything to do with it. But when she was deflated during that scene, she was just like... That's like you coming up to me and going, see, it all worked out, and you're welcome. I would be like, dude, I got this on my own merit and because I'm talented, so fuck you. You know what I mean?
Right. No.
I took it as a chick point of view.
I'm taking it as a chick point of view, too. I just think that she's irritated that he turned that around and it was about himself at that point too.
Oh, it's always about himself.
And it's always about himself, and that's actually discussed several times throughout the movie.
Remember when he comes home and he's on her doorstep and they go out for a drink?
Right.
And he even says, so I didn't know you had it in you. And she's like, because you never asked. Mm-hmm. It was always about you. So there were so many scenes that came together about how he's not even a pig. He's a dick.
Yeah.
But, she didn't know that. Look, I've dated plenty of
dicks,
He's
self-absorbed.
He's self-absorbed.
I don't know that I would call him, like, the biggest dick in the world or anything. But he's completely self-absorbed.
Right.
And, one of the great things that this movie does do is that in its concept of a Broken Hearts Gallery where they're gathering all of these artifacts of broken relationships and putting them on display in a gallery, is that they're taping people do their commentary about what it is that they're bringing into the gallery and why. And we get to see a great number of the characters in this movie doing heartfelt
because everybody
talks to the camera. Yeah. Even characters that are very minimal or only have 1 or 2 lines suddenly have this emotional outpour of about characters that we never even meet in some cases.
No, because it's also very heavily social media. Mm-hmm. Granted, it's 2020.
Right.
So what, in 2020,
it's all about
this
Twitter.
Decade,
this whole thing is Twitter.
Oh, it's Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram.
But there's elements of Instagram on there. That's why she reached all these people. But it's fascinating that all these people, we're all the same. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I could sit here and say, I've had terrible relationships, and you could as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
absolutely.
We've had these discussions when we got together.
Yeah.
Not all mine were bad. Maybe not all yours were bad. But, I mean, what is that old saying? It's one of my favorite sayings. It sounds morbid, but everything ends badly.
Que sera, sera.
No, everything ends badly. Otherwise, it wouldn't end. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Now, is that glass half empty, half full?
Kind of a pessimistic.
No, I know, it's a little bit morbid, but as you know, I'm very much a pessimist. So, hello.
That's what I love about you.
Okay, so, by the way, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Is the glass half empty or half full? For you?
For me?
Yeah.
I never look at it that way.
Well, see, for me, it's half empty.
I just look at it as a glass of water.
Okay.
And it's what I get. For me, it's I'm going to drink it.
Jesus Christ.
Whether it's half full or not.
It's a question about if you're a pessimist or
I understand,
or a positive
I understand
person.
it, but I just don't think it's that simple.
Anyway, okay. Well, you married somebody that it's half empty to me. So I'm just saying, everything ends badly, or otherwise it wouldn't end. And think about it. If everything's going fucking amazing, just in general,
yeah,
like at your job, in a relationship, it's going wonderful. It wouldn't end. That's just my theory.
Well, see, and I have a more nihilist look, which is everything ends.
Right.
And everything ends regardless of how good of a time you're having. So you're just trying to make the best of what you have to do.
Well, that's if you're at a party or you're hanging out with friends,
sure,
or you're at a really nice romantic dinner with your spouse.
Right.
Okay. Yes, Shawn. It has to end because of time.
Right.
Like, okay, we're not going to sit at a restaurant for the next 2 years because we're having a great time. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like long-term jobs, relationships,
sure,
etc.
Mm-hmm.
If it's going great, it's probably not going to end. That's what I'm saying. But then again, totally my opinion.
Sure.
So, I mean, anybody out there can disagree with me. I'm just saying. It's like Harry Met Sally when Billy Crystal says, you want to know how, like, dark I am? I read the last page of a book.
Yeah.
In case I die, I know how it ends. And, Meg Ryan says to him, that doesn't make you dark or anything, deep or anything. I'm saying that's kind of where sometimes I don't read the last page of a book, but I'm just saying that's kind of where my darkness or negativity comes in.
Okay.
But everybody's different. But I like how all these people came out with their stuff.
Yeah, no, it's very cool.
It made you kind of feel people as a whole. We're all going through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like St. Elmo's Fire.
We're life.
All going through it. It's life.
She makes a speech at some point where she says broken hearts is something we can all relate to, because we've either had our heart broken via a romantic relationship falling apart, or a familial relationship falling apart, or a pet dying. There's always something that breaks your heart. Every single one of us has had a broken heart.
And every story was different that came on, which I actually wrote down. It was very a la, speaking of Harry Met Sally.
It was very much inspired by that.
Well, just because they put, she said, when they came to contribute something to the gallery, she said, can I record this? Mm-hmm. And then they showed those little clips, which was very a la Harry Met Sally. You know what I mean? I feel. The
way they intersperse them throughout the film, it's very clever.
Exactly. Now, forget about Max being a douche. We got to talk about her friends, her two best friends who are amazing. Mm-hmm. Molly Gordon, of course, from Booksmart. If you haven't seen Booksmart, I think you probably have, but please run out and do it. I love Booksmart. I'm a huge fan, but Molly Gordon.
She's Amanda.
So she played AAA, right?
Oh, she was AAA in Booksmart. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's one of the best friends in she's super funny. Who she's dating Jeff, right? Her boyfriend.
Shiva baby too.
Huh? Oh, Shiva Baby, that's right.
Which is
oh,
also
God.
a great underseen
Shiva Baby,
movie.
also, folks, dropping that. If you haven't seen that, see that. It's so good. But Molly Gordon is great in this. Her boyfriend, Jeff, who, by the way, spoiler alert, does not have one line until an hour and like 32 minutes in this movie. Their relationship, though, is hilarious. It's funny, which sounds weird because he doesn't speak. And then I don't want to butcher her name, Philippa Sue, who is the other best friend, who apparently is the star of Hamilton, in the musical Hamilton, and some other things, other Broadway things, I believe. But just such an interesting dynamic that she plays Nadine, her lesbian friend, who is just freaking.
She's hilarious.
Who dresses on point, by the way. Right?
Damn.
Dresses on point.
She has great taste
Even her
in
glasses,
outfits. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But she is hilarious. They are two of the best friends. Like when she breaks up with Max and she comes home and she's crying. And by the way, they're betting on her relationships the entire time. Remember, they keep exchanging cash back and forth because I told you, you got to give me money because I said they were going to break up.
And she's been through a lot of relationships, as I said earlier.
Right.
So, yeah.
Exactly. But what's great is when she breaks up with Max and they start throwing stuff at her like movies, wine, ranch dressing, potato chips. They put a blanket over her and, it's so good. And then she's holed up in her room for like weeks. And remember, she's got her gloves on and Molly Gordon, and she's like, they're complaining about the smell coming from the room, because Lucy won't shower, etc.
Or throw her food out.
It's so, and then she's like, "Is that a crab cake?" You know what I mean? It's so because it's so real. Because that's what girls do. I can't speak for guys. I guess you guys have been down and out. Like if you break up with somebody, but
I went through years of depression.
Yeah, but I'm saying girls. I don't know. It's both sexes do it. We're just you're just down and you're recovering, and how you deal with it is. Some go out and sleep with somebody right away. Some stay at home and, just stay in their room hidden. And I don't know, the whole dichotomy of it just spoke to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And Lucy was relatable. Nadine
is my favorite scene in the film by far, which is when Lucy meets Nadine at the restaurant by themselves.
Yeah.
So the other friend isn't there because
tell me how to break up with somebody.
She wants to learn how to break up because she wants to break up
with Max.
With Max for the first time.
For the first time, yeah.
Meaning the first time she's the one doing the breaking up.
Yeah.
So she teaches her and she goes in this fantastic monologue of like a fictitious breakup.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
And it's absolutely the best written thing in this entire movie.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And she does the whole thing, and then she even kisses her to close.
Right.
And Lucy just goes, "Oh my God." She's like, and like she has tears in her eyes, and Nadine goes, "Right? Like, I'm so good, right?" And Lucy goes, "Yeah, but I'm not going to use that. I can't use that." Yeah. But it was so good. I love the relationship with the three of them because they've been friends for a long time. They're funny. Remember when Nick fucks up because Chloe comes into the picture and he goes over there and he's like, "Where is she?" And, Jeff's like, "She's on the roof," but he's flipping him off at the same time. And Molly Gordon does the whole speech. Okay, there's a girl in a blue suit. And then her, somebody else that's just coming to run you over in a pretty purple top. It's so fucking genuine, and it's real, and it's great acting. I love rom-coms, but it wasn't so much romance so much as all the comedic, they hit, right? I just saw all the jokes just hit. It's subtle.
It's a very cleverly written script.
Right.
So it separates it from your average rom-com. This isn't just, guy meets girl, guy loses girl, guy tries to get girl back. Traditional 3-act structure. There's definitely more going on in this movie.
It's all the trials and tribulations that come with it, even with Nadine in the kitchen.
Much like there's more going on in When Harry Met Sally.
Exactly. No, because it's kind of all... Exactly. That's kind of... I don't know. Like, it's
See,
funny.
what it actually takes the playbook of When Harry Met Sally, but honestly, and don't get me wrong by misconstruing me, When Harry Met Sally is a better movie than Broken Hearts Gallery. But
it's one of my favorites.
It takes the framework of When Harry Met Sally and actually integrates everything together.
Yeah.
Because in When Harry Met Sally, when you would have these cutaways to a couple,
right,
talking about how they met and how they've lived their lives together, that couple has no real bearing on what's going on in the plot of the movie. It's just, a cute little aside. This, everybody that you're hearing speak is a character from the film, so it integrates it all together, and not in a certainly a puzzle way, like you need to figure anything out.
Just like when Harry back to the camera work.
The segues make sense in service to the plot.
Also, the Harry Met Sally, as you know, because we played it for my birthday when we rented out the theater.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorites.
Absolutely.
Is it my top one? No, but it's in my top 5 or 10 for sure.
Is it your top rom-com, or is it...
Oh, it's one of my fucking favorites, sure.
For me, it's gotta be, like, top rom-com. Like, I can't think of a better...
Well, obviously, I mean, I got to choose for renting... I rented out a theater for my birthday, and I picked When Harry Met Sally.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not get started on, like, Valley Girl. Okay, this is when we were talking about in our last podcast. Two completely different genres.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go rom-com, oh my God, Harry Met Sally for sure. Also, 1989 versus 2020. We got to elevate this into, what was it? We can't talk about the internet or the Google, when we're in 1989 Harry Met Sally. Remember, what is it? You've Got Mail? And it was like AOL, and, everybody's sitting there like this now. Fast forward, everything's Twitter, everything's Instagram. You know what I mean? What I love
Top 5 rom-coms of all time. Go. I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, fuck.
Just throw them out there. What are the best? They don't need to be, like, in order or anything.
I can't do that right now. That's. I mean, When Harry Met Sally is for sure one. Rom-com specifically.
Yeah,
okay. Because I could, I could name off some... comedies, right off the bat.
No romantic comedy specifically.
Oh, God.
Sleepless in Seattle is
up
there.
Yes, and I don't want to throw You've Got Mail in there because I just can't.
Because you can't put Meg Ryan in everything.
Exactly. And I'd love to throw some John Hughes in there, but his were mostly, like, teenage angst. You know what I mean? So they weren't really so much.
Yeah, they're not. He didn't.
He
dive so much.
He didn't really do.
Although you can make a case for.
That's not a rom-com.
It kind of is.
It kind of could be.
Yeah.
Say anything if you're.
Career Opportunities, I would say, is a rom-com.
Yeah. And that is John Hughes.
Written by John Hughes.
Is that okay? Anywho, you're still putting me on the spot, but if you're gonna rom-com, you could still throw Say Anything in there for sure. I think
Say Anything fits.
Better Off Dead, is that a rom-com?
I think that's just more general comedy.
I don't know. I don't like this game because I'm put on the spot. I can't do that. One of my favorites is Harry Met Sally, and I stand by it. And it's literally, I can watch that 300 times. Why it's funny we brought it up. Natalie Kristy, who wrote and directed this, her first major thing that she's known for, she did some writing for, one of the newer episodes of 90210. She did a Gossip Girl. She did a Grey's Anatomy. Something else called Red Band Society. I'm not sure what that is. A couple episodes here and there. But this was like her major thing. And what's funny is I read articles about her, and she specifically mentions Harry Met Sally. I love that already. I love this woman, and I don't even know who she is. But obviously, you can see where she pulled from that because of the people on camera.
If you have seen When Harry Met Sally, you're going to see shades of it in this movie.
Yeah,
it's almost direct homage. Like I don't think that you could.
No, and if you're a writer,
separate the two.
I'm not always on point, but I was an English major. It's all I liked in school. I love reading. I love writing. It's the only fucking subject I ever enjoyed. And write about what you know. You know what I mean? So you write about what you know, you're probably going to be a really good writer. As an example, Natalie Kristy, who wrote and directed this, said she took from her past relationships. You know, mostly bad, probably, but write about what you know. She also loved Harry Met Sally. She stole a little bit from that. And good on you, girl. Because thank you for taking something from 1989 and just doing a little sprinkle in 2020 and a little update for many things. So Best Friends. Bruno Kirby, as an example, rest in peace, who was Billy Crystal's best friend and When Harry Met Sally. Carrie Fisher, also rest in peace, who was Meg Ryan's best friend in it. All these little sprinkles of the best friend, and they had the best comedic chops next to the leads.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Again, best friends, better jokes.
Better, yeah. That's not to say we haven't talked too much about broke-ass Chad Lowe in this, Nick, who... He's fucking beautiful, okay? I'm sorry, he's beautiful. I love you. Not saying you're not beautiful, because you are. He is like, he's distracting, because he's just very good looking. He's sexy. He's very, quiet. The quiet, what do they call it? The soft-spoken or type guy, whatever.
I know what you mean. Saying? Like, the more introverted, soft-spoken, indie scene stir type. I liken him a little bit to a Robert Pattinson type.
A little bit.
I like him as an actor.
Yeah.
I like Pattinson as an actor too, don't get me wrong.
You like Batman, so.
Well, no, I like Pattinson honestly in everything I've ever seen him in.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I get that. You're right. That's soft-spoken in that way. For sure.
To me, there's something about some of these guys that became popular that I get why you girls are attracted to him. To me, sometimes I look at him and they look physically sick to me. Yeah, there's something that's just almost. It's not.
I will take care of him.
They're almost
sick.
pale,
oh my God.
not white, but pale, what guy, dude, what's wrong with you?
Okay, are you judging McJudge right now? Because
I don't. A little bit. Okay.
Well, I will take care of him if he's sick because he is. I've got time to take care of him. He is, if he needs help in any way, I'm available. A couple hours a week to take care of him.
Couple hours a week. Okay.
Yeah.
You're just like a timeshare.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's
okay.
what I'm saying. Oh, I didn't know he was Australian. Okay. I just looked him up. I didn't know he was Australian. Tell me he doesn't look like Chad Lowe, though. Am I right?
Yeah, no, I see it.
God damn. Rob Lowe's out there going, did my mom have an affair with somebody else?
Permanent 5 o'clock shadow.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. And when he was in Elvis, apparently, which we haven't seen Elvis yet.
How many years was he working on this hotel?
God damn. He is only 28 years old.
How old did you think he was?
First of all,
that's older than I thought he was.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God, he's not even 30. Okay.
To be fair, this is also a 3-year-old movie already.
Talking about him. Okay, yeah, he's over.
So
18.
he was 24 when he made the movie.
Okay, he's still got milk on his lip, but that's okay because he's attractive.
So, but he inherited money from his grandmother.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
she stuffed all her money under the mattress. And then, left it for him, and then that's how he got the money to start the hotel. And then, due to setbacks here and there, he couldn't, things went to the wayside or things got more expensive. So he burned through all his cash, hence needing to go to the bank for a loan. Why is this so confusing? Okay. He could have modeled on the side to get some extra cash. Just saying.
He could have stopped drinking the whiskey that he was drinking, too.
Yeah, it looked like expensive whiskey.
It was expensive whiskey, and he always had it.
Yeah.
Now, spend that money on whiskey once the hotel is open. Don't get me wrong, because people will also be buying that whiskey.
Also, you took her through that locker to that secret, little place. You spent some money on that.
That room was finished.
Was tight.
Well, cool. My running theory with that is that he didn't have an apartment at all.
Oh,
he just lived in that hotel. And so... Yeah, we never saw his place.
Yeah, we never saw his place.
I mean, why would you?
And then when they made love for the first time, we're assuming that was her place, right? when they were in bed together. I'm gonna guess it was her place.
I don't know. I think it was at the hotel.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
Oh, because he took her to the secret
place. They're drinking. They're not going to go any place
you're
at
right.
that
And
point.
then they go and they do it in slow motion where they're kissing, and then you're right.
Yeah.
So good call. So that they probably just boom did it right there, and then I guess so. You had a bed in there.
Yeah, because remember the secret room was off of the bedroom.
Oh,
It wasn't.
Okay.
It was like that upstairs room.
Anyway, he had a really nice place. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, he made a nice place for himself. He should have worked on the hotel before he made that bedroom. Because, maybe the hotel would have been done.
Did you see that kiss?
And open for business.
That finally, when they got together in that kiss, I was just like, done. Oh my gosh. And that's why she got so upset when Chloe, Sookie, Waterhouse shows up.
She wasn't really given a lot to do in this movie.
She really wasn't.
For being
do you not love her little package, though? And she's like, I don't know what we're doing here because nobody's ever broke up with me before. That was funny.
Yeah.
That was actually funny. But I don't know enough about her. I know her name. I think she dated Bradley Cooper and some other people for a long time, but I don't know who she is really. But I like that her part was kind of minimal. You know what I mean? But it was very integral to the story.
Yeah.
Hence him naming the hotel after her, and then Lucy finds out and goes nuts. Anyway, let's talk about the real star of the show, which was Lucy's mom with dementia, and
Sylvia was the character's name?
Cheryl. Even her friends go,
Cheryl's a legend.
Cheryl's a legend. She's a legend, and she brings Nick to meet him. She's like, Who's this dime? Which was classic, which we discussed. I had never heard that term before. And I said, dime? And you're like, he's a 10. And I was just like,
Ladies and gentlemen, Kristy has never heard the term dime in relation to calling somebody a dime.
No, I've heard dime, but with drugs. Right? Like
dime bag?
A dime bag.
Okay, yeah, all right.
But I have never heard somebody say, who's this dime? Literally, I had to ask you, and you're like, he's a 10. And you even giggled because you like.
Yeah, I thought it was a funny joke. Yeah, it was a funny line.
And then what she say about? She goes, "I used to be as tight as a
Mormon teenager or something like that."
Oh God, she was funny.
One of the best lines.
And then Lucy goes, "Nick, by the way, you're hitting on my mother." You know what I mean? But that was a very sweet scene.
Yeah, it is.
And then them playing "Don't Go Breaking My Heart," which is the theme song for them throughout, for the most part, which was great.
Which apparently Nick's a concert-level pianist.
Yeah, exactly. Which you said Q-Tip and Demi Lovato did a version of it, I believe.
That's the version that they did later in the movie. Because there's like 3 different versions.
Yeah.
There's the karaoke version of the classic song that they did.
Yes.
And then there's the piano. And then later on there's like a radio version, which is Q-Tip and Demi Lovato.
Which is cool. I just like how it kind of follows their relationship, and then it's just different.
Well, it crosses the generational lines, too. You have the original version and then a remake, of it, which is kind of cool.
Well, and also we laughed in the very beginning when her friends were commenting on how she's collecting all the stuff from her exes, the sentimental things. Mm-hmm. And Molly Gordon says to her, it's not sentimental, it's mental. And I love that. That's a classic line, because Natalie Krinsky writing and directing it. I did my little backstory. She, wrote this and couldn't get anybody to take it, jump at it. And then finally this company that decided we want it. And she's like, what? She had to do some rewrites. They wanted it, and like I said, I think this just needs to be seen. It's just not. It's not curing cancer.
No, it's not groundbreaking.
No, but
it's just really well done.
Okay, and I'm not comparing it to Cherry 2000, which we just did. Okay, I'm not. I swear.
Of course.
But something you said last night in our podcast of Cherry 2000, you said this Cherry 2000 was so underseen.
Yes.
Underseen, is that the right word?
Yeah.
And it is unfortunate now that I've seen it, and you had me watch it. It's very unfortunate. I kind of feel like that about this. We said that about Little Darlings. Little Darlings specifically is a travesty that's underseen.
Little Darlings had its moment in the sun. It's just disappeared for the last 30 years. It's a little bit of a different story.
Oh, okay,
but you're not wrong. I mean, does it matter? Like, does the box office that a movie made 30 years ago matter if it's not available now?
Yeah.
You know, it's always about the availability of these things.
No, you're right.
And the curation of these things. Because, yes, you can subscribe to Netflix for your, $15 a month and have access to 5,000 movies. But if those movies aren't being put in front of you, do you even know about them? Do they even exist if you're not told about them or if they're not watched?
I get it, but this was also 2020, and I feel it got buried with COVID.
It did.
Let's look at a very big, perfect example. I was trying to think of it. What is it? Everything...
Everywhere All at Once?
Okay. Great movie, right? It won pretty much across the board.
Fucking brilliant.
Okay, it won across the board.
Yeah.
Michelle won it.
Daniel
Juan.
Yeah.
Won it. I'm saying his name wrong. I don't want to butcher anybody's name, but the main players won for
all
that,
the main players did.
Okay, and then it won movie of the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Best picture.
So best picture, sorry. So you're looking at it like that. Let's say something as substantial came out that same year. You know what I mean? And I don't have the list in front of me, but I'm just using it as an example. This is Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to win across the board. But something over here that was just as good.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean? Is not winning. But it's just because it got overshadowed over here. You know what I mean? So it's like things can get lost in that. Things can get lost in that way, or
It's happened historically. I mean, it's happened controversially too. You had years like, I think it was 98, could have been 97, when Shakespeare in Love won Best Picture.
Yes.
And it was up against many better movies.
Yeah.
Right. Or when Crash won Best Picture, which most people today have turned around on, and realize that it's kind of a shit movie.
Right.
And so many good movies that should have been up there just didn't make it.
Exactly. So it's kind of, and then throw COVID into it with this. By the way, I'm not comparing this. I am not comparing Broken Hearts Gallery to Everything Everywhere All at Once. By no means. I'm just using it as it got, unfortunately, COVID
It's
hit.
A valid statement, though, because, again, things fall out of the cycle. 5 years ago, everybody was talking about the King's Speech.
Yeah.
When's the last time you heard anybody mention it?
Yeah.
I mean, these movies, even when they do have their moment in the sun, sometimes they burn out quickly.
Yeah.
And this is one that was just buried, and it was properly buried because not only did it not have its theatrical release,
right,
but during 2020, when so many people were stuck at home, movies were dropping every single day on all of these streaming services to keep people entertained, and people would watch it, and then they would fall out of the cycle the next week, because it would be replaced with something else.
Well, I just but it's disappointing. Like I said, it's underseen. Natalie Kristy, God bless you. You wrote and directed this. I'm not going to do the whole, I've said this in many podcasts, I'm not going to do the whole woman thing. Written and directed by a woman, let's all go see it. Look, I support women, as you know. I feel bad for her because she wrote it, she forgot about it, she tucked it away. By the way, prior to 2020, forget COVID, tucked it away from 10 years prior, I believe. And then somebody, because she couldn't get anybody to take it, finance it, or take a chance on her. Mm-hmm. And then this No Trace Camping, or whoever is the film company, came out and said, no, we really want to do your movie. We're dead serious. And then, God damn it, girl, then COVID hit.
And it probably ended up, Christ. I mean, I'm speaking completely without any knowledge on it, but it probably ended up being a bad pickup by No Trace Camping.
Yeah.
Because they probably never made any money off of it.
Oh,
that
sure.
said, this movie did get a physical release.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie can be rented and watched. There's a lot of other movies that don't even have that luxury. So I'm not completely, gonna say that it's the worst thing that could have possibly happened for this movie.
No.
But it would have absolutely benefited from more exposure.
But we're just going by Wikipedia here, and by the way, just like Cherry 2000, we can't talk box office necessarily because right. It didn't come out.
And everything that came in 2020 has an asterisk.
So
next
budget
to it.
was $8 million, box office was $4.8 million.
That's shockingly high.
Yes, agreed. And again, we can't even look at the box office because not fair.
Yeah,
because it didn't have a chance.
It's a 2020 release, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Honestly, 2020 and 2021 were pretty much washes. Like you have.
Agreed.
There's a reason why they pushed Top Gun back 2 fucking years.
Right.
Till theaters were open. Well,
yeah, and Tom Cruise was able to do that because he's Tom fucking Cruise.
Well, it's also, we put this much money into this movie. We're gonna make this much money back.
You see the difference. I know. By the way, this is not Top Gun. Never said it was. Never said it was Everything Everywhere All at Once either. But it pisses me off a little bit because Wonder Woman. We have the poster that says only in theaters June of 2020.
Yeah.
Which we have a little bit of a gem now because it didn't come out in June of 2020. I believe it didn't come out in December.
It came out in December. And when it did come out, it wasn't only in theaters. You could watch it at home the same day.
Exactly. But this isn't a Wonder Woman, and it's not a Maverick, Top Gun, and it's not everything. Well, Everything Everywhere All at Once didn't fall into the COVID realm.
That fell afterwards.
But I just want to make sure the listeners know I'm not doing a comparison to that. We're talking about apples and oranges here. All I'm saying is, Natalie Kristy, if you're listening, girl, you didn't even have a chance, and that makes me sad. Because this is a good fucking movie.
Yeah, it's well made. It's very well made.
I will say 79% on Rotten Tomatoes, which we don't always go by.
No, but that's good.
But it's good. Letterboxd average 3.4. I only have, which I'm not surprised, I've only had 2 friends that have seen this.
That's higher than I would say average for a rom-com on Letterboxd. For sure.
I think 3.4 is pretty high.
Yeah, it's good.
I have 2 friends that have seen it. One gave it a 4, one gave it a 5. Dare I say what I gave it after seeing it twice in the hotel room? But I'm going to go ahead and say it. I gave it a 5. Will that change after our discussion tonight? I don't know. We were outside and I said to you, In Her Shoes. I get shit for In Her Shoes with a
friend of yours.
With a friend of ours specifically. We won't mention any names. He knows who he is listening, but with Cameron Diaz and Toni Collette, who's fucking brilliant, and Shirley MacLaine.
Yeah.
I give it 5 stars. It's been a running joke that I give In Her Shoes 5 stars. I stand by it. I won't change it. I love the movie and I stand by it. This one I gave, Broken Hearts Gallery, I gave 5 stars. I really don't think I'm going to change it, and for many reasons. I felt it was relatable. Is it the best movie I've ever seen? No. Do I appreciate what Natalie Kristy was trying to do? 100%. Love the characters. Love the diversity of the characters. I related to Lucy in so many ways. I love the chemistry with her and Nick. I actually like Nick's story as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you got a banger like Bernadette Peters in here. You got a Billie Eilish song in this fucking movie. Let's drop that in.
Don't get more 2020 than Billie Eilish.
By the way, I looked up the soundtrack. I feel old as hell. I don't know who any of these people are. I do know who Q-Tip and Demi Lovato is.
You know who Billie Eilish is.
I know who Billie Eilish is. Don't go breaking my heart. I know who that is because that's old school. But I have no idea who else are on this soundtrack. But I'm gonna be 52, so I feel old as hell. But I just really, really enjoyed this. Don't know how many listeners we're gonna get on this particular one because some may go, "Nah, see this? What is this?" And that's okay. skip over it.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
You skipped over Working Girl, so you might as well skip over this.
By the way, this might be the first
There's
time we watched a movie
reference.
that references a movie that we've already watched, because Working Girl is referenced directly in the line of dialogue in this movie.
One of the young chicks references Working Girl in this.
Specifically Sigourney Weaver in Working Girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Loved it. There was also another reference I didn't write down, but it made me smile because it was something we normally talk about, and I was like, it was something I normally say, like a saying or like a mantra I normally say, and it was said in this. That made me smile too, which spoke to me even more. So
what do you still have of an ex that you would put in your Broken Hearts gallery? What would you donate that you still have?
I'm sorry. that I still have?
Yeah, fun game. Just
God,
because
that's a good question.
I have a couple that I know that I could donate.
I don't know. I was gonna say like a concert ticket or something, but I can't really say that because they all become skewed. Because I've seen a lot of concerts, or I've seen stuff with my dad or my brother that are all kind of I don't know. I will. Maybe you tell me. I would have to think. I
have two. First of all, I've never held on to a lot of stuff that exes gave me. If I held on to it, it's because I thought it was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like my Halloween 2 Zippo lighter, right? That an ex gave me. But the thing that I always think of, listeners, I am not a religious person by any stretch, but I had an ex-girlfriend who came over one time and saw that I had a lot of horror movie action figures, figurines. And in seeing that, she just assumed that I liked action figures in general. And she gave me a action figure of Jesus. Not joking.
Okay.
So I still have this thing someplace. I honestly don't know where it's at. It's in a box someplace.
Okay.
I've tried to throw it out 4 or 5 times, but every time I try to throw it out, it's not even about her anymore.
Jesus stops you.
It's just I can't just throw Jesus in the trash.
Right?
And I'm like,
I know, because I get
this is fucked up. I look at it and I'm like, I don't want this in my house, but I can't. It's kind of a dick move to just throw out Jesus.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
So,
I get it.
So Jesus sits in a box someplace until the next time we meet.
With that T-shirt I can't find from our last move, they're probably hanging out together.
Possibly, yeah.
God, that's funny.
I haven't seen it since you and I were together. So it's probably in a box of stuff from my folks' house that I haven't gone through yet. You asked me,
so I will tell you. I hope you don't feel weird about it, but we've talked about it.
Yeah.
The lighthouse. I love lighthouses, as you know, and that is still here all these years later, and it's come with us from a couple of houses now that Mark made.
Yeah.
And
it's very nice too. It's
we've had the discussion about it. He was very talented, but from the get-go when we got together, I said I have no attachment at all when we got together that I still had with him, but he made that with rocks and wood, and it's beautiful, and it sits on our fireplace. And hopefully you don't think that's creepy. I don't think it's creepy, just because it's a memory, and Mark is no longer with us. Years ago, he has passed away, but I don't keep it for any specific reason. Now, in answer to your question, would I donate it? What would you donate it? Like you said, you can't throw Jesus away.
But I could donate Jesus.
No, I get you.
If the Broken Hearts Gallery was a real thing, I absolutely would donate Jesus.
And you know what? Then that's a valid question. Honestly, not just saying it because you did. I would actually donate that. And
I think that's cool because it's actually a piece of art.
Yeah.
It really is.
No, for sure. And it really, I can't say it doesn't hold any sentiment to me, because then I can't say that, because then somebody would say if it doesn't, why is it still sitting in your fireplace? It's just it was just a different time.
Right.
It was different. And even you've said when we've discussed it, it's very well done. It's beautiful. I think. I mean, and it's I love lighthouses, and it's...
Well, and it was something made specifically for you too.
Exactly.
Which is
for
cool.
Sure. And also It's up on the fireplace, by the way, out of sight, out of mind, with the other lighthouses that we have on the hearth of the fireplace. But I don't look at it and like, oh my God, it doesn't take me back or I have memories.
Sure.
But now that Mark is no longer with us, I'm not going to throw it away. I never once said, and when we got together, you said, don't throw it away.
No, I saw it. You told me the story. I'm like, this thing's cool. Yeah,
it's really cool. Now, but in answer to your question, would I donate it? Yes, absolutely I would.
Yeah, no,
because there's a story behind it, and you would donate Jesus.
I would.
I mean, that's very big of you to donate Jesus, by the way. But anyway, so that's
also
that's funny.
Jesus would make for a good story in that video that I would have to say for the donation. Interesting too, because Gal who gave me Jesus is also no longer with us, so we have that.
Interesting.
So that's interesting that both of our items come from people who are no longer.
And again, I never think of it as like showcasing it. If you brought yours out because it meant something to you, I don't know. I just never. I don't know. I think it's just a different time and a different. Oh, by the way, from said person, there were other items that I absolutely got rid of just because for whatever reason. But that was just something different. It spoke of a different time. And again, like you said, it is an actual work of art.
To Bernadette Peters' point, in this movie, she talks about her ex-husband, and she
kept the box.
She said, she's like, I don't ever regret marrying him. I don't regret that relationship because you wouldn't be the person you're today without the building blocks of everything you went through.
She gave
very valid point.
She gave, Bernadette gave Lucy the empty box, the empty ring box. She said, I want to donate this for the part of the installation of her showing. And Lucy said, it's empty. And Bernadette said, I know. She's like, I sold the ring, and that's how I bought my gallery. And what's funny, though,
must have been a hell of a rock.
She kept the empty fucking ring box. Yeah. So that in and of itself is, you still kept the box. You know what I mean? So, just saying. By the way, my engagement ring that you gave me, I still kept the box. I still have it. Which is funny, because it's like, why did I keep the box? But, it's the same thing. It's just like, why wouldn't I? So, I don't know where it is. It could be with Jesus somewhere right now. I have no idea. But, I mean, at any rate, I do have it. Also, the line is, speaking of Bernadette Peters, in her speech when she gave her the
ring box,
the empty ring box, she said, "Pain is inevitable. It's what you do with it that matters."
That's right.
So, which was awesome because
which is a lesson we can all take away,
right?
Because we all go through pain, whether it's heartbreak or not.
Well, that's what I said. That's why I feel this movie just spoke to everybody. And by the way, if this movie doesn't speak to you, if you don't want to see it, don't see it. You're not going to hurt my feelings, but if this movie doesn't speak to you on some level, you're dead inside. That's how I feel. All right, I'm kind of being dramatic a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a bit much.
No, I know. You can edit that out.
I mean...
No, edit that out. No, I'm just kidding. Edit that out, please. I'm just going to keep talking so you edit that out.
This movie doesn't speak to me because there's no sex dolls in it.
It's not Cherry 2000. There's no sex bots. Anyway, I think we've come to the close. Any spoiler? Oh, by the way, spoiler alerts. Jesus, he changes the name of the hotel from the Chloe to the Broken Hearts Hotel. Yeah, I'm giving you the spoiler alert. And then, he does the grandiose thing at the end. I love you. And then, she comes down the stairs and they hug and they kiss and confetti flies, champagne flies, and everybody's happy.
I do want to ask you a question because it bothered me in the moment and then it was kind of written off later on and I was like, okay, I came back around. But just put yourself in this position for a second. Kristy, you are Nick. Okay. You are building your dream.
I am hot.
You are building your dream. Yeah, the stubble on your face really does it for me.
Okay.
You are building your dream hotel.
Okay.
And you run out of money. So you apply for money, loans.
Yeah.
And you get declined left and right.
Okay.
And then some private lender donates money.
I.e. Bernadette Peters.
to finish your hotel.
Okay. He said also why he didn't change the name. It was too expensive to change.
Do you not do anything you can to find out who that private lender actually is? Yeah. Or are you just like, cool, I just got money. Well, I didn't think I had it.
It's actually a great fucking question because when he got turned down for the loan and then, they're fighting, because him and Lucy are at odds because he's so pissed off he didn't get the loan. And then when she comes to him and says, Eva, who's Bernadette Peters, says, I can do the showing at her studio.
At the Wolf Gallery.
At the Wolf Gallery. And then that's when Nick says, a private lender stepped up and gave me the money. Yeah, that part bothered me only because it was a little bit of a hole of, who is it? Which then his friend Marco... I think it's Marco remember when they're in the convenience store and the wife goes, would you tell him already? Tell him who the private lender is. And then he tells them that it was Lucy got it from Bernadette Peters.
Right.
But yeah, that was kind of weird because he's like, what? You know what I mean? He didn't know. So yeah, that was a little bit of a hole for me, a little bit of a loophole.
It wasn't so much a story hole, so much as it just, I can't imagine a real person not questioning the mystery of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Who is this Mrs. Havisham who just dropped money, on me that I didn't ask for?
Because it's what do I owe you? Kind of thing.
Or who do I thank?
I get it. What's kind of funny is this is the third time I'm saying it until you just said that. Remember when we watched Cherry 2000 last night, I asked you a couple questions, and you're like, I never thought of this till 4 viewings ago. Yeah. After 70 viewings. Now, this is only my 3rd viewing. Okay, so you got me on that. Okay, on all your viewings of Cherry 2000. But literally, I didn't, until you just brought that up, I don't think he was just so excited he got the money to finish it but you're right. It's just if the bank turned me down, and then all of a sudden a private lender came in.
And you've been struggling for as long as you have.
But a private lender said, I'm going to give you the money. Great point. Forget about who do I owe. I'd want to be who do I thank? So, you're right. It's just, it is kind of weird.
And why is somebody random just giving me money?
Yeah. They don't even know me.
They don't know. I don't know anybody.
Yeah. Which is why you thought it was Chloe, actually.
And I still say that would have at least made sense.
Yeah.
Oh, you're, an ex, even an ex-girlfriend,
she's so vapid though.
She also she did show up at the hotel and looked around. Yeah, and then left.
So it would,
you could have been like, oh wow, he's building this hotel with my name on it. Sure, I'll chip in. I'll be a business partner to it. No, I could see that happening in the real world.
We actually paused and you said, hold on. So I'm guessing Chloe's the investor, and I actually turned to you and I said, I don't remember. I watched this that long ago in the hotel room. I literally actually couldn't tell you. I truly don't remember. I didn't think it was her that I could remember that much, but I literally couldn't remember until then it got to that scene. But you're right. That's a valid question. What movie doesn't have holes in them? You know what I mean? It just...
No,
very messy.
It's not so much a hole as just something that just didn't seem realistic. Yeah. It's not that it's not giving me the information. It's giving me the information.
Yeah.
As far as what happened, it's just that didn't seem like in a movie about human reaction.
No, I get it.
It did not seem like a very honest reaction.
Also, we discussed when she went to him and he said, I didn't get the loan. Yet again, he's drinking all his whiskey.
Yeah.
But he said, I didn't get the loan. And then remember, they have their little fight and, they both go their separate ways. And then when she finds out Bernadette is going to let her do her showing at her gallery, that's when she's all excited. And Nick comes over to her house to tell her his good news, which is, I got a private lender. The bank turned me down, but I got a private lender. And that's when Lucy says, oh, well, okay, now my good news
I want to have. I want to keep the gallery.
Let me show it at her gallery, but now I want to show it at your. I want to do it at the Chloe. Which obviously
she already knew at that point what was going on.
But we didn't know as the audience.
Sure.
Okay. But that's what's fascinating. So, okay, we also know why Lucy did that. She went to Eva, Bernadette Peters, and said, she's in love with Nick.
How much money do you think was needed to finish up the hotel? How much do you think?
New York.
I know, but how much do you really think he was applying for?
Like $100K, maybe?
Do you think maybe that was it?
Yeah.
It's just...
Which could be chump change for Bernadette Peters.
It was probably chump change for a business loan in New York.
Or something?
I don't know, because...
I mean, it's fucking New York.
He had been working on the hotel for as long as he had.
If it was Mesa, Arizona, I would have said like $25K or $50K. But it's New York, so I'm easily going to go low on $100K. That's low.
Okay, also...
You're from Brooklyn, you should know.
Expensive. Because I haven't lived there in 95% of my life.
Your mom would know how too expensive it is. It's
40 years ago.
And it was probably expensive then, let alone now.
The second most unbelievable thing in this movie is that he runs across the street to the neon sign salesman.
And it's ready.
And he had already canceled the order, but now he wants him to make the order, and it's the same night as the actual event. And he runs out with it.
Within minutes.
Oh, no. I like, this dude is just blowing neon tubes.
You are ruining the fucking romantic moment. I thought that when he ran in there, because she's doing her speech, at the top of the stairs, remember the balcony.
Well, of course, timing.
No, the balcony is key, because remember he said, I got plans for the balcony. But he couldn't finish the balcony, but that's where it all started, where the wall started, right?
Right.
With the tie and the map. He's like, the map was mine. Oh, my God. So goddamn romantic. Anyway.
Yeah, it was the ending of Josie and the Pussycats.
Okay.
Josie's on stage.
Okay.
And Adam comes running in, and you can hear him in the crowd.
Jesus Christ. You and this Josie and the
Screaming,
Pussycats.
He loves Josie.
Thank God I've seen this movie, so this is not a podcast next. But I'm saying, runs into the store. By the way, they're open. It's like probably it's like a Thursday night at like 8 o'clock. And she's giving her speech. You canceled it. I know I canceled it, but uncancel it, okay? And then...
He's lucky he had that Bernadette Peters money, because that neon heart probably cost him twice as much as it should, because he had to just do it like right then and there.
No, I think it was already ready. He already made it. He makes neon signs. I think he made it, but then when he got all upset about like things weren't working out, he was just like, just cancel the order. But I think it was like already...
It's a custom.
It's kind of like Nothing Bundt Cakes. You know what I mean? Like you do a specialty cake, but then at the last minute you cancel it. Well, I already made the fucking cake, so I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, right? And then when Joe Schmo comes up and says, I need a cake...
Right, well, you scrape the icing off and you have the new cake. No Joe Schmo is going to come into the neon sign shop and say, I need a Broken Hearts gallery sign.
I know. I get what you're saying. But we don't know when it was canceled. He said, the guy that works there, but you canceled the order. And he's like, well, uncancel it. Okay. Well, we don't know when he canceled it. He could have canceled it like that day. But you are a neon sign maker. You probably already made it. Okay, it's not a bundt cake, really. You know, that would take like, oh, Jesus. You take an hour or two to make that? This neon sign with a specific message on it, that takes time.
Oh, yeah.
So if you...
It's not cheap either.
But if you canceled that order, he probably already had it done. So it's just sitting in the back, which is kind of fucked up if you think about it. Because if it's sitting in the back, like you said, no one's going to want Broken Hearts Hotel.
Right.
So, like, I guess he still would have had to pay for it, right? Which is stupid to say uncancel it, because it's like, dude, it's a, what do you say when you go to order something like a personalized thing?
Yeah.
Like, there's no refunds.
Yeah.
Because who are you going to give that to?
That's what I'm saying. You don't even...
It's not like a bundt cake.
It's kind of like the dialogue wouldn't play out like that. You know, because it'd be like, are you sure, man? Like, I was gonna destroy it or recycle the glass, you know, next, you know, my next run.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I need it right now. Also,
and then you wheel it out.
Like, man, you don't have a delivery truck that you could just like chop it up.
He's on a schedule. He's got to go tell her he loves her. That's why he's running up. They put it on like a, what do you call it, a furniture dolly.
And he's just rolling it down the New York streets that have no traffic on it whatsoever.
It's 8 o'clock on a Thursday.
You know what? That's romantic magic right there. There is no traffic on New York streets.
You know what? Natalie Krinsky was thinking when she did that. Just saying. I know, there's, like, that doesn't really make any sense. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's romantic.
All right,
and then,
I dragged this out long enough.
Okay. We're going to wrap that up. And we're done. We're done with Broken Hearts.
By the way, I did like it. I do want that. I do want that note.
And then we always like to say, I'm going to stay with my. I'm staying with my 5 stars.
I'm probably going to give it a 3.5.
Okay.
I think it's really good. I think it's better than the average rom-com for sure.
Okay. I'm just curious. Would you give In Her Shoes again?
I think I'd give it a 4.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow, this doesn't even rate a 4. Okay.
Oh, I think In Her Shoes is a better movie than
you
this.
think? Yeah. Okay. No, that's a good point. Anyway, let's wrap this up. We got to wrap it up. I honestly didn't think we were going to talk about Broken Hearts Gallery, which is now the Broken Hearts Hotel. With a neon sign that was not canceled. Just saying. And Jeff talked after an hour and 32 minutes. Oh, also a lot
about possums and meerkats.
Yes. Yeah. Also, there's a lot of lamp porn in this, much like
not as much as Down with Love, though.
That's true. But there was lamp porn in this big time. We are finishing up. We're going to talk about your next pick. So. We won't go into a 20-minute conversation about your next one, but
my next pick is going to be The Straight Story by David Lynch. It is a G-rated Disney movie that he made. As a result, it's on Disney Plus. You can watch it if you have a Disney Plus subscription.
And it's about a documentary. I'm sorry.
No. It's a narrative film. I think it might be based on a true story.
Okay.
But don't quote me on that. I'll try to look that up by next week. But no, it's a narrative story. It's a drama.
Okay.
And it's about old man that's trying to reconcile with his brother, and he finds out his brother's in bad health, and they haven't talked for years. 1999. And so he rides his tractor.
Harry Dean Stanton is in it. Nice.
Or rides his lawnmower. It's like a riding lawnmower. He decides to drive.
Like Can't Buy Me Love?
Yes, for a much further distance.
Okay.
To see his brother.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have an actual car. And then the people that he meets along the way.
Interesting. Okay.
It's watching it. It's a very David Lynch movie.
Okay.
But it is a proper narrative. There's not like a lot of room for interpretation.
And it is based on a true story?
I think it's based on a true story.
Okay. Interesting. And is David Lynch in it himself? I know you haven't seen it for a while.
I haven't seen it for a while. I don't believe he is in it.
But Harry Dean Stanton is.
Harry Dean Stanton is in it.
Sissy Spacek. And Richard Farnsworth, who I
is
love.
really fucking good.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm not looking up any spoilers, but I'm looking it up as you're speaking of it. And I just wanted to see some of the key players. Because I could have sworn I had heard Harry Dean Stanton was in it.
Well, Lynch, of course, likes to put him in everything that he works with.
And I know you love Lynch.
And I love Harry Dean Stanton, too. I mean, so...
And 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. Interesting.
Lucky was probably my favorite movie the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And we can't do a podcast about it because you've already seen it.
Yes.
But
I did enjoy that.
I do think that's a perfect.
Anyway, it does say based on a true story.
Oh, okay, cool.
Riding his lawnmower from Iowa to Wisconsin to visit his sick brother.
Mm-hmm.
So, interesting. So, I know you've talked about this in the past, and I know you enjoyed it.
This is also a movie that was difficult to obtain for a while until Disney Plus came out because it never hit Blu-ray. There was a DVD, I think, but it went out of print a long time ago. So this is one that streaming services actually saved. Because it being a Disney movie, Disney
so
Plus.
So if somebody doesn't have Disney, then what?
No, if you don't have Disney, you can rent it on iTunes. Okay. I think you can definitely buy it on iTunes. I don't know if Amazon Prime has it or not. You can't buy a Blu-ray of it because it hasn't been released in this, at least not in the States. I have an Australian Blu-ray of the movie, but you need a special player to even play that in the States. Sure. So I wouldn't go that route. I would just either, chances are, if you have kids, you have Disney Plus, go watch it there, or rent it. I'm sure it's like $4 or something to rent on iTunes.
Yeah, it looks like on Amazon the DVD's like $10.
Oh, okay. So you could get it on DVD.
Or I'm sure you could rent it.
But again, probably cheaper to rent.
Yeah. So okay, David Lynch. After all these episodes, we finally get a little Lynch.
Well, there's only a couple Lynch movies at this point that you haven't seen.
Yeah, that's
true.
You've
hit the heavy ones. The only other ones that I think you haven't seen are, and maybe you have, and it was just before my time, but Eraserhead and Elephant Man. Did you never see Elephant Man?
I believe I did. I don't think I've seen Eraserhead.
Yeah. So and
which I know that's his big.
It's his most, but I mean that was his first movie, yeah. and it's very much a expressionistic movie, yeah. More so than a narrative movie, and I think this is just fun because it's the straight story is an outlier, yeah. in his films because it kind of is a straight story, which is rare for Lynch.
Yeah. Well, and I think after
he also didn't write it.
Right.
I mean, it's based off of something else. So the script was written for him, and I think that's the only time he's ever directed anything that was not written by himself.
Well, and I think after the last couple, or the last 3 or 4 that we've done, now we're going to have to get back into some wild things and some boobs.
Well, we can always have. There's no boobs in.
What was I thinking? Not wild.
There's no boobs in Straight Story.
What's the other one that? Last American Virgin, etc. Yeah. So, yeah, there's no boobs in Straight. I didn't think so.
We got a little bit of boobs in Indecent. Not Indecent.
No,
Presumed Innocent.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm being silly. Yeah. We want to keep the audience engaged in some point.
Yeah, but yeah, Broken Hearts Gallery had no boobs. So if you can fix that next time, appreciate that.
Sorry, I will try and.
I mean, not that I'm bringing boobs to the table with Straight Story.
Is there boobs on the lawnmower?
But no, I don't think so. I don't think you want to see any of the boobs that are in this movie.
No, I'm good. I don't think I need to see Harry Dean Stanton's. I'm good. But no, good pick, and we will be back at you soon. We got 3 in the can that we still got to throw at you people from this weekend. So thanks for joining us. We will see you soon. Or not see you soon. Well, be back soon.
We'll be back soon.
Yep. And see you once again on the flip side.
Be safe out there.
Be safe, be well, and cheers.